With Cardano getting ready for smart contracts, we've got a huge opportunity to be early for Cardano projects. But the best thing is you can get some of those tokens for free or almost free. What's up? My name is Caroline and this is Wealth in Progress, where you'll learn how to make passive income with cryptocurrencies. In this video, I'll share the top Cardano projects that are doing an ISPO, also called Initial Stake Pool Offering. The cool thing about this kind of launch model is that you don't need to pay any extra money in order to get those tokens. Instead, you can just use your Cardano rewards that are free anyways and use them to pay for those new tokens instead. And one of those projects will even airdrop you the tokens on top of your Cardano rewards. Now, while this is no financial advice and I highly recommend that you only invest money that you can afford to lose, I still think this is a pretty low risk way to invest in a new project. You get the chance to be super early and you don't risk your capital. The only thing that you do risk, in fact, are your Cardano rewards for staking. One more thing before we dive in. I'm currently working on a membership site that will have tons of super valuable information such as deep dive technical analysis, on-chain analysis. There will be a super early bird option that our newsletter list gets access to first. So if you want to be super early and get a steep discount on our membership site, then make sure to subscribe to my newsletter down below so you can be the first to be notified when this is live and profit from the super early bird. Alright, now all of these projects are DEXs, also called Decentralized Exchanges. The first one that first basically came up with that idea, that launch model, and they called it ISO, is SundaeSwap. So they wanted to launch that in June and they wanted to start their ISO, their stake pool, and distributing their tokens in June. But then they bumped into some regulatory issues because they're based in the US, and that's why they had to postpone it. So I've actually got a couple of videos on them already. I'll leave them on top of my head and in the description. Be sure to check them out as well if you're interested. But what you can see is, if we look at the roadmap, is that they've postponed the initial stake pool offering to Q3. So they haven't announced a clear date yet, but it will probably be after the Alonso mainnet goes live, so probably sometime in the end of September or beginning of October, I guess. Now, in order to get any of those tokens or any of those projects, you always need to stake your Cardano to their Cardano pool. So I've also got a couple of videos on them as well, on Cardano staking as well. First, to stake Cardano in the first place, and also to stake it to multiple pools. That is especially useful if you basically want to split it out. So let's say you want to get tokens of those different projects, or you want to have some Cardano rewards and then some of those other projects, then you can split it out. So on top of my head or in the description, check those videos out as well. Alright, next up is Meld. So I've also just made a video on them as well, also linked on top of my head. Now, this is a pretty interesting decentralized exchange, I would say. They've got a very solid team and they have a very unique offer among them, their different offers. That is called their Genius Loan. If you look at their white paper, you'll see it here. And the idea of the Genius Loan is that it pays itself. So they say, following the idea of extreme innovation, Meld will be offering a self-paying loan. The customer collateralizes their cryptocurrency and takes out a loan with a slightly higher interest rate. The customer only needs to service the interest on the loan. They can but do not have to pay on the principal. In the Meld Genius Loan, part of the yield generated by the collateral goes toward paying down the principal on the loan. Based on our models, it will take between 3 to 6 years to repay 100,000 USD loan depending on the market conditions. So this will be definitely very interesting to see if they can pull that off, if this will really work that way. Also, they offer borrowing and lending of both crypto and fiat, so I also think that's a solution that's very user-friendly in today's world. So could be something very interesting. Now, what's also interesting about them is that they offer two different kinds of staking pools. One is the normal one where you get just 100% of Meld tokens. So you basically pay with your Cardano staking rewards and you get Meld in return. So you can see here, these are all those stake pools where it says 100% Meld. So you get 100% Meld, but then they have a second option, and that is a 50-50 option. So if you stake in the Meld ISPO 2, then you get 50% Meld, but you still keep 50% ADA rewards. That is a great option if you don't want to create different wallets in order to stake to different stake pools. If you just want to get ADA and Meld, just choose that option, then you get 50-50 each. Alright, the next one is Merkur. I haven't done a video on that yet, but I will come up with that as well. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when that video comes out as well. So this is another decentralized exchange, and what I find particularly interesting about this one is that they will distribute most of their tokens to the community. So you can see here the initial token distribution. You can see only 3% are for the founder, 5% for development fund, 12% are under the protocol's control for later use, so they haven't determined what they want to do with those 12% yet. They'll let the communities decide what happens with that. And then you can see the rest. So we've first got 6.94% that will be airdropped to the MRQR delegators before the platform launch. So that would be you and I if we do that now. So if we stake to their stake pool right now, you receive part of that, almost 7% here. And then you see the rest, so 73% are locked by the protocol and airdropped to later delegators over the period of circa 3 years. So you can see the majority really goes to stake pool delegators that decide to delegate the Cardano to their staking pool, and then they'll receive most of those Merkle tokens. I find that very interesting and a very community-driven approach, I think. They've also got an airdrop calculator, so let's quickly look at that and see how much you would get with them. So the next epoch would be 283, and the launch epoch apparently is number 300. Each epoch is 5 days, so that would be another about two and a half months. So let's say you've got 1,000 Cardano, so you can see your estimated airdrop would be 1.15 thousand MQR tokens. Now they do have quite a large total token supply. You can see that's 1 billion. Down here you can also see the per epoch breakdown. So you can see each epoch, the total active stake, then that would be your contribution, and then how many MQR you would earn per epoch, and then in total you can see that also that sums up to about 1.15 MQR. The last one, and in my opinion the most interesting one, is Ray Network. So this is another project that I haven't done a video on yet. I will do one in the future, and actually this is my favorite option right now. So right now I'll probably be delegating the majority of my holdings to Ray Network. Might change in the future, but for now I think this is the best option. And the reason for that is because you don't need to pay with your Cardano rewards to get their tokens, but you get their tokens on top of your rewards. So they will still give you your more or less 5% of Cardano rewards, and you get those Ray tokens on top of that. Now what I also find very interesting about them is that they're not only a DEX, but they actually offer a ton of other things as well. So you can see on top here we've got the swap, that's probably the DEX, but then we've also got NFT, data, maybe that's an Oracle, but you can see they offer a bunch of different things, and they're a more complete network or more complete project than just a DEX. So now in here you also have the Cardano staking calculator. So you can also, let's say you also have 1,000 Cardano, then you get your 5% per year on ADA, just that normal thing that you always get. Now the percentage fluctuates a bit, so it might be between 4 point something and 5 point something, but on average it's 5% per year. So you can see that would sum up, so I think currently it's about 4.17%. So you will still get your 50 ADA per year. And then on top of that, you get 1 X-ray, so that's a token, for every 50 ADA that you're staking. And that in total per year would give you 1,460 X-ray on top of your Cardano staking rewards. That's pretty neat, I think. Now the tokenomics are also pretty interesting. So you can see here they will have a total supply of 406 million, and that will be available over a 3-year period. And you can see 58% to Ray Network community members. That's not as high as Merkle, but still pretty high. And you can see then we have 20% for investors, but with a 3-year vesting period. 14% to the team, also 3-year vesting period. And then 8% for founders and advisors. So that's pretty good, a pretty good mix. And with 400 million, that's pretty small actually. And if we look at, so that's just hypothetical, but if we look at Uniswap, that's Ethereum's biggest DEX, and of course we don't know which of those DEXs will be Cardano's biggest DEX, but just as a comparison, that has a market cap of 16 billion. So if Ray Network's total supply will be 400 million, let's just say that they might have a market cap of 400 million, which is still pretty low. So we can go down here. So that wouldn't even be in the top 100. That would be somewhere down here at like 120. If that was the case, then 1 Ray token would be worth $1. As we've seen earlier, with 1000 Cardano tokens, you would receive 1460 Ray token extra per year. So if that's worth $1, and that is, in my opinion, relatively realistic, that's another $1,500 extra on top of your Cardano rewards. I think that's a pretty cool solution, pretty cool airdrop. I'll definitely have a big part of my stake in this pool, and I will be coming up with a full video on them as well. So don't forget to subscribe to be notified when that comes out. Let me know if you've staked into one of those pools already, or if I've forgotten another token, another project that is launching an ISPO. There's one that I found as well that's called Chef Swap, but I'm not sure if that's legit. So let me know if you know more about them. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, share with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!